Hello, my name is Michael Knipp, and I have come to an interesting conclusion, which is, I think I'm having a book hangover. Partially because of the whole quarantine situation and life schedule just being very different. I thought this month I was going to read a ton, but the truth is that this has been my least productive reading month in a really long time. And I kind of attributed that to me just being less productive because of my schedule being more random. But in all actuality, I think the thing is, when I finished Oathbringer, it was such a big, huge, momentous, significant event in my life that I actually just straight up hit my first full-on adult book hangover. So I did finish, I think, 4 books this month, as well as DNFing another one. But yeah, that's not very many for me. That's no dunk at people who read slower, and that's normal for them. No, it's just that was really slow for me, especially since 2 or 3 of these books were really small. And I'm realizing now that I compare small books to ones that are not 500 pages. So yeah, I already talked about the first book that I finished this month was Oathbringer. I'd started it last month and ended up finishing it the very beginning of this month, and I have a review up for that if you want to watch it, so feel free to do so. Jumping into more Brandon Sanderson, I got Skyward from my library. It came in on Libby, and I was super excited because that is a series I've heard a lot of good things about. Mostly the things that I knew about it going in was that the story focused on a girl named Spensa, and it was Brandon Sanderson's attempt at telling a boy and his dragon story as a girl and her spaceship. Spensa's greatest desire is to be a pilot in the army and defend her city against the Krell, the aliens there. But because of some actions that her father took, they don't want her to be a pilot. They don't want her in the military. The people in charge systematically keep her down, and I thought that was interesting. I really ended up loving this book. Now, it took me longer to read because of the slump than normal, because it really isn't that long, and it is young adult, so it's even easier to read than some of the other books that I normally pick up. But this book genuinely shocked me and surprised me. I loved the characters and the way that they were developed. I loved that there were a lot of stakes that I didn't fully expect. And I love that even though this is a science fiction world, there are elements of it that seem fantastical, in the same way that I feel like in Brandon Sanderson's The Stormlight Archive, for instance, there is a lot of scientific elements that make his fantasy kind of science fiction-y. I like that this science fiction story is a little bit fantastical, while also we just get to read a lot about space dogfights, which is dope. I love Skyward a lot, and I am looking forward to reading the next book in that series. I've actually already started it. I think it's called Starsight. Going to be reading that and hopefully talking about it soon. I continued along with my Dresden Files read through, which I'm doing with a group, but also I've been given permission by lots of people to go ahead and continue and marathon those if I want to. I haven't, but I did finish the second one, which is called Full Moon. Dresden Files being a noir detective wizard, and Full Moon being the book that's about werewolves. Now, I've been given the impression that the Dresden Files eventually becomes more of an epic fantasy style series, but in these early books, it's kind of a one-shot case of the week, and I'm super into it, and it's a nice palate cleanser. And while I think there is something to be gained for when the series becomes more than that, I'm also still really comfortable and happy with what it's doing right now. Next up, another shorter read that it took me a lot longer to read than it should have, Scarlet, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. I vlogged that one over there if you want to check out that vlog. Short story, I liked it a lot. This one was a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and it was cute and exciting, intriguing, and definitely drew me in to want to continue to read that series. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about here today is a book called The Cruel Prince, which is a book that I picked up because it was huge on BookTube. Let's just face it, I know this is a young adult romance. These are not the things that I find myself usually drawn to, though I like to explore some other things, especially if lots of other people like them. But this is the first DNF that I've had to experience in my current BookTube run, whatever you want to call it, my career. This book just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't horrible. I didn't hate it enough to do some kind of long rant review on it, but I also did not care enough that during this period when I was already having a hard time focusing and reading, I just could not be bothered for the hours, even if it was only a couple hours it would take to finish that book. If you want to know any specifics, well, spoilers for the first, I've only read the first 25%, so spoilers for the setup of The Cruel Prince. The book started off strong with a murder and people being essentially kidnapped, and then the plot takes place in the Fae, this fairy world, And the fairies are like, it's like if the evil villains in the world of the Cruel Prince were just a bunch of different versions of Peeves from Harry Potter. They're just like cruel and like very violent and evil, but like for no reason, for the fun of it. It's just, some people could interpret that as being, I think, like super dark and dangerous, but to me it just came across as, listen, this is no offense if you do like this book, it was super cheesy and corny. It's like the freaking like Lucky Charms leprechaun. What if he was an evil fairy that just put spikes in your cereal and laughed when you swallowed blood? I don't know, it's just really, really stupid like that. I realize so many people like it. That was my takeaway. I'm sorry. If that's a book you like, good for you. The best thing about it, now I know, and DNFing that book was freeing. I gotta do that more often. Now, the most important thing I want to say here today in this video is, if you like my content, remember to hit the subscribe button and also the like button. Remember to comment if you haven't. No, yes, but guys, I hit 300 subscribers this month, and that has been amazing. You guys, you really are making this booktube experience, the act of reading, you're making it amazing and wonderful, guys. I spent so long of my life not reading. I got into it again largely because of booktube. I'm now driven as part of booktube, and I feel like I am part of the community in so many ways. I now have formed friendships and relationships with people outside of the sphere of YouTube. I've been able to start doing collab videos with people. I'm working on more collab videos with other people, and I'm so excited. Not only is making these videos so fun for me and being able to talk about books with other people who love books so awesome, but like being able to be part of the community, to see what you guys have to say about books that I love, to have you guys recommend books that are awesome to read, and then for me to be able to take those books and experience them with you, have conversations about it. This whole thing is so incredible, and thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, for supporting and encouraging me in that way. I hope that with this channel, I am able to encourage people to read things that are awesome, to be able to discuss those things with like-minded people, and I hope that I, as a member of the community, can be as welcoming and encouraging and supportive of you guys as you guys have been to me. This has been really special. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to have so many new book friends and people that I can talk to all over the internet with all these different types of stories. Guys, this means so much to me. I know that on my channel I do a lot of goofs and silly stuff, but really, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for really encouraging me to be able to explore this angle of creativity and honestly help me keep going and keep trying for some creative outlet. When I started this channel, I was kind of in a dark place creatively. I was at a turning point, and just being able to make these videos and have people enjoy them and see that as I'm getting better at providing some form of entertainment, that people actually are enjoying them, and it's encouraged me. I never would have even tried to do like the name that tune thing I've been doing on my Instagram if I hadn't had a little bit of confidence boost on being able to make some content that people enjoyed. You guys don't know how much of an impact you've made on my life personally. And so once again, jokes aside, thank you. But now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you watch the video, please do. I had to say it. Thank you guys so much again for being here with me on BookTube. I genuinely love you guys all. I hope that you guys are continuing to have a safe and sane time during the sickness. That's what my kids call it. There's the sickness. Have a good one. See ya.
No, I never get enough. Always looking out tired. Sleep. No, I never get enough. If I don't show up, I might get fired. Sleep. No, I never get enough. Always looking out tired. Sleep. No, I never get enough. If I don't show up, I might get fired.